Sid, I'm gonna go. You good with that? All right, let's do it. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. Welcome to another episode of me eating hot dogs. I want to apologize again for the last episode. It was probably obscenely long at around 13, 14 minutes. It was definitely a record for me. This one I will attempt to bring in shorter period of time here. So let's get started. First, this is our Memorial Day weekend. You can tell it's Memorial Day. Unshaven. I'm in quarantine. My hair is crazy, but here I am. I'm still going to do this episode here because the demand is immense for more episodes. All right, so I wanted to talk about some unknown or little known hot dog siblings. That's right, siblings. Kind of like the brother and sisters of the present day hot dog. There are these other kind of neglected sausages that I wanted to just mention that are out there. If I think about it like, I don't know, like in an evolutionary way, and you think of the top layer as being some kind of beef sausage from Europe, some kind of like the genus is frankfurter or something, and then there are these species. So one of the species, let's say, is hot dog. Hot dog. So let's just talk about how it kind of evolved, which is kind of interesting. At the turn of the 20th century, I'll just get very specific there. Hot dogs were super popular. They got really popular really fast. Feltman's around that time had two city blocks. We'll talk about this another time. Two city blocks in Coney Island, and it was producing 40,000. There was like 40,000 hot dogs a day or something like that. It was crazy. It was such a hit because you can eat it and take it to the beach and eat it, or you can sit down and they would put it on a plate and you'd eat it like a meal. At that same exact time, around the turn of the century, we had in New York, we had these new immigrants that came over. First in the 1800s came like the German immigrants, and then came the Irish immigrants, and then came the kind of Jewish Italian immigrants around this period of time. And when they came in, they settled in the Lower East Side in these tenement houses, and these restaurants opened up to serve kind of the Jewish population, which were what we know of as delicatessens. There was also another type of restaurant called an appetizer. We could talk about that another time too. An appetizer served bagels and smoked fish, but the meat was served in a delicatessen. I mean a classic delicatessen from New York, 2nd Avenue Deli, Katz's, or in Montreal they have like Schwartz's, and then Nate and Al's in LA, whatever, delicatessen. Sliced meat, steamed on rolls and buns and rye. Okay, all right, so let me get to the point. This popular hot dog at this time, Feltman's, was, I believe, not made with beef, they were made with pork. But when they were brought into these restaurants where they didn't eat pork, they were turned into these beef sausages, or these beef hot dogs. So frankfurter was brought into the delicatessen, where it still sits now. You could sit any one of these delicatessens you walk into, you can get a hot dog as well. And these hot dogs were very popular in the deli because they were cheap. So, hence the evolution. So the delicatessen wanted to have a type of hot dog that they could serve in a bigger meal, and they created what's called a Knoblewurst. I mean, there is a Knoblewurst out of Germany, but this is kind of a beef Knoblewurst. Same flavor profile as a hot dog. A little bigger, little larger. They would serve it with, what are you laughing at? They would serve it with sauerkraut, with no bun. But then, here's the part I wanted to say. You could still get Knoblewurst places. You are still laughing. You could still get Knoblewurst. Hebrew National make Knoblewurst. All sorts of places make Knoblewurst. You can still get them. It's not as hugely popular as a hot dog, but you can still get them in delicatessens and stuff. But here's the one I wanted to really talk about. There is a almost extinct next evolution, which was, in order to get the Knoblewurst on the sandwich, they had to make a big version of that, or the hot dog onto a sandwich, a big one, where they had to be able to, where they could slice it and create a large sandwich out of it, and that was called a Knoblewurst. And a Knoblewurst, super rare. I only know of a couple places that still have it or serve it in New York City. Katz's is one of them. And guess what? Look at this. I have one. I have one. The rare Knoblewurst right here. Look at this. Look at this. This thing is, you cannot find this anywhere except my house and some places in New York City. So they would cut this, they would grill this, they would slice it, and they would put it onto a roll or onto rye bread. My favorite sandwich in the whole world is the 2nd Avenue Deli. Years ago, I was a consultant, and I would fly into New York City. I would wander over to 2nd Avenue, to the 2nd Avenue Deli on 33rd Street and 3rd, and it's not on 2nd Avenue anymore. And I would find my favorite slicer, and he would make me a Knoblewurst and pastrami sandwich on rye. He would grill the Knoblewurst. Matter of fact, I think I have a picture here, and I will show it. Boom, there it is, beautiful, tastes delicious. I dream of it. The only sadness is I don't think 2nd Avenue Deli has this on the menu anymore, but if you get to Katz's, have it. It has this, all three of these sausages have the same flavor profile as a hot dog. Knockwurst is a little higher quality meat. Knoblewurst has a little bit of vinegar flavor to it, sometimes a little sweetness. If you get it at Katz's, it has a little bit of sweetness to it. And that's it. I have no idea whether this is of any value to anyone whatsoever. I just think it's really interesting that there's this big, huge hot dog called a Knoblewurst. They also call it a garlic ring because it has a heavier amount of garlic than a hot dog. I think that's about it. That's all I wanted to talk about. These steps. And here's another picture of all three together. I have a picture of all three together. Knoblewurst. Here's all three on my grill together. Here's all three on my grill together. I don't know why I'm pointing, but there they are. You can't see me point, or you can't see me point at nothing, but one of those two things. Okay, here we go. So let's do our tasting. Here's our tasting. You ready? It's Memorial Day. I feel like we should have a really iconic hot dog. Here we go. Sabretts. If you know what Sabretts are, you're nodding. You're like, yep, good call. Sabretts on Memorial Day. So Sabretts is the classic yellow and blue cart that you see everywhere in New York City, or used to see everywhere in New York City, with the umbrella, blue and yellow. It says Sabretts on it, through Central Park, and you get yourself a Sabretts hot dog. This is the hot dog that you would get in a cart in New York City, and I guess you still would get in New York City. This, though, the ones that we're going to try today, I'm going to try today. I always say we. When I ever say we, I mean me specifically. I'm going to eat it. They always have casing. I can't get them right now here in the Bay Area. So these are not. These are skinless versions. I'm going to try these, see if they have the same kind of flavorings that I recall from Sabretts. So let's go do it. Let's go cook this, and I put it in my mouth and eat it and chew it and then taste it and then rate it, and then let's do it. All right. Okay. Let's do this. So here's what I have here, a Sabrett. Let me just go over Sabretts for you for a second. Sabretts started making hot dogs around in the 1930s, I think out of the Bronx and then New Jersey, or maybe they're both in both places, Bronx and New Jersey. Originally, they were a bakery in the 1920s, and they made hot dog buns, and I think they were making the most hot dog buns of any company in the world, and they decided to make hot dogs. And so first, they wanted to call them, the bakery was called Star Bakery, and then they wanted to call it Star Hot Dogs, or Star Meats, but there already was Armor/Star, so they couldn't use Star. So then they wanted to use Sabre. And then there was a Sabre tuna fish company that was like, you can't use Sabre, we're Sabre. And so they were like, okay, let's be the little Sabre, Sabretts. Sabretts. So that's the name, Sabretts. Again, they are in the push cart. I want to mention one thing though about them before I eat. I did mention the ways by which you can eat a hot dog and what kind of toppings you can have on it. In a way, the Sabrett has an exception, which is that in the carts, they have the famous Sabrett's red onion sauce. I really don't know the history around it, but a lot of people get the red onion sauce on top of the hot dog. The red onion sauce is, I think, like a tomatoey, oniony concoction. And it's not bad. It's good. It's good. All right. Let's eat this hot dog. All right. So here it is. Look at this thing. Compare this to like last week where the hot dog literally was lost in the bun. This is a kind of a quite a size here. It's very long. All right. Okay. Let's do this thing. I'm going in. I'm going to go in. All right. Got it. Got it. Okay. As opposed to the Nathan's hot dog that I had, where the flavor profile was actually not there. At least I didn't feel it was there. The Sabrett's hot dog, which is not the original hot dog, which is in the natural casing, has the flavor profile of the Sabrett hot dog that I recall. It's smoky, garlicky, mild. It does not have a snap in any way, so it's snapless, and a bit soft because of what it is. It's skinless. But the flavor's decent. The flavor's good. It's a good hot dog. I would totally buy this hot dog to, for Memorial Day and enjoy a Sabrett's hot dog. I like that it's not as salty as other hot dogs. All right, here I go. I'm going in for the rating. 2.7. Yep, 2.7. That's it. That's the answer. 2.7. Have a great Memorial Day. Me eating hot dog.